Good afternoon. We are back at Makande Gym for Game 2 of the KNBL Ladies Finals, where Alima Dumbia and the Kenya Ports Authority Dockers successfully defended their territory in Game 1 against Zetech University, and will try to push that lead to 2-0 before the series heads back to Nairobi. Here to take you through the action, as usual, it's Tranel Aaron and myself, Silale Shani. Now, it was a 1-point victory for KPA, and Tranel, we have discussed this at length. We looked at the statistics, we did the analysis, and it really came down to the minute details when it came to the victory for KPA.
Yeah, we mentioned that it's the little things that count, and we jokingly said, you know, those games that haunt you when you think about the missed layups, the missed free throws, the turnovers, and you're like, if only I would have scored 2 of those free throws, or if I would have made that layup, the outcome would have been different. And yesterday, given that the game went down to the wire, I am interested to see the adjustments that both coaches will make. Because yesterday the game was up for grabs. There was no clear winner. There was no clear powerhouse. It was anyone's game. That should encourage Zetech. That loss, yesterday we talked about that it was a good loss. That was not a bad loss by Zetech. And they are still in it. And I believe that even today's game, it's anyone's to take.
It is anyone's to take, and Michelle Sokuju led with 15 points, and she got some great support from Maureen Bosbori, who scored 11 points, and it was her who was tasked to take that very crucial 3-point shot at the end of the game. She missed, but it was the right play, and we had a conversation with Coach Obi, and he said, yes, it was the right play. They executed it right. It was just a miss. But Christine Akinyi was 1 for 8 from beyond the arc. She finished the game with 7 points, and you've mentioned her a little bit, coming down to the little things. I think she just needs to be confident in her ability as a star player for Zetech University, also including her experience at the national team level. If she gets fired up today, KPA could have a very long afternoon, as we now see the KPA ladies heading out into the floor for the team presentations. At the front of that line, Aminata Semaseku, she didn't have a high offensive output, but 4 steals for her. And really having her as the floor general makes a world of difference, according to me, for KPA.
It does. And she handles that with so much of grace and poise. Whenever Aminata has the ball in her hand, she looks to get all the players involved. And one thing that KPA have is that both of their point guards, both Aminata and also the veteran Natalie Akinyi, they always look to get their players involved. They are pass first as opposed to score first point guards. And that's very crucial for KPA.
Let's head onto the floor and listen in on the national anthem. So final high fives for these two squads as they get ready to face each other. Let's take a look at the team roster for Kenya Ports Authority. Of course, heavily expecting Aminata Semaseku, Alima Dumbia, probably Grace Irebu and Barbara Mani. Will she come off the bench? Yvonne Atieno will definitely start, according to you, Trinell. So those are the players who will get things started in this game. I think Kyobe also has a good chance to start. Her energy was very valuable for Kenya Ports Authority in Game 1, and they'll be looking to her to get this team going.
Yeah, also, not to forget, she's the one who scored the game-winning free throw. Because it came as a result of the amazing defensive stop she got, which led to her being fouled. And then as we're looking at the Zetech lineup, we have Maureen Bosibori, Michelle Sokoju, Angela Kinyi, Evelyn Diana, Naomi Bosibori, Masha Oko, Darlene Joroge, Ashley Minayo, Beryl Aoko, Christina Kinyi, who's the captain, and Presbury Adiambo and Beryl Atieno. Now, I know for sure that Maureen, Michelle, Christine are going to start. I'm wondering whether Coach Obi will make any adjustments to his starting lineup. And with Zetech, we talked about this in length. The only adjustment that they need to make is to score the number of possessions they get, especially of the offensive rebounds, because they totally dominated the offensive glass yesterday.
They did indeed. 51 rebounds for them in comparison to Kenya Ports Authority's 44 rebounds. It was a high turnover game on both sides. Zetech had 18 steals, but they were unable to convert those steals into points. And you and I talked about this, Trinell. If they had just made half of the free throws that they attempted, it would have been a different game altogether.
A totally different ball game. Half of the free throws and a quarter of the offensive rebounds if they would have converted them back into the baskets.
That's Coach Maurice Obilo, also known as Coach Obi, up on the screens. I had a conversation with him, and he gave me a great soundbite. He said he's proud of the team, considering they finished the regular season 20-2, despite them missing major players. We've talked about this before. The fact that Zetech University can continue to be successful year after year, despite a high turnover of players, is impressive.
Very impressive. What Coach Obi has been able to do over the years, he has definitely established himself as one of the top coaches in Kenya, and just by the success of his program.
I mean, this is a team that lost Medina Okot. They lost Val to Equity Hawks, Kyobe now to Kenya Ports Authority.
Barbara
Diana
also started with Zetech, now she's in KPA.
So it's a huge chunk of very talented players, and yet he's been able to maintain a high level of success. So we have to give credit where credit is due. Coach Obi, you are doing a fantastic job. And then up on your screens is the head coach for KPA, Millicent, talking about people who've done a fantastic job. She was given the tough ask, by the way, former KPA player. Given the tough ask, Kenya national team player. To be honest, a legend of the game,
yes.
A local legend of the game.
Yes.
And she has now moved to the technical side, rather, of Kenya Ports Authority. And she's doing a great job. She's managed to maintain the success of Kenya Ports Authority. Here they are in the finals.
She has done a huge part in ensuring that KPA remain to be a dynasty team.
Which is not easy. It's not easy playing with a target on your back.
Doing it year after year, competing at a high level. In fact, I can't remember the last time the ladies' finals did not have the KPA team in it. It's been that long, and I'm 100% sure that in the last 10 years, KPA have been to all the finals.
You know, I was talking with Coach Abel Nson yesterday evening, and about the legendary players that have gone through the Kenya Ports Authority organization. Guys like Mwajuma, guys like, I think her name was
Joyce Makungu.
These are people you didn't want to meet in the paint. Listen, 5-10 years ago, Kenya Ports Authority were a different animal altogether, and they've been able to maintain that intensity. They've been able to attract top talent. Now they're attracting top talent internationally. Dumbia coming from Cote d'Ivoire, Grace coming from Congo. You have Kyobe, national team for Rwanda. It's a great thing to see. So here we have, the game is now officially underway. Zetech Sparks looking to leave Mombasa City with at least one win under their belts. We got an early block from Grace, and Kenya Ports Authority coming the other way. Irebu called for the travel violation, and she had a massive double-double in game 1 when she is performing for Kenya Ports Authority. I don't know if there's any defensive player who can match up to her in Zetech Sparks.
She is definitely a matchup nightmare. And you mentioned her double-double. I think she had 14 rebounds, 16 points. As Michelle Sokoju sinks the early jumper. I'm expecting Michelle to have a more calm, composed game, and also for her to have a massive game. She needs to have a massive game, or she needs to go off like the way she did in the semis. If she does that, I'm pretty much sure that the win is guaranteed.
So we got the miss from Akinyi, and then the jump ball underneath the rim between Beryl Otieno. No, that's actually Beryl Aoko. There are two Beryls on Zetech University, and Tranell and I were trying to figure out who was who. Semaseku to bring the ball up. Kick out to Doumbia, feed into the post. Grace. Double team, steal Bosbori. Bosbori on the left-handed drive, yes. And Zetech now take a lead, 4-0. We've talked about some of the keys to success for KPA, and a major point was stopping that transition offense of Zetech University's. They're a fast team, as we see Grace finally get KPA up on the scoreboard.
Grace is her mid-range stroke is just so smooth.
Aoko with the spin move. Not too much the defense could have done there. And already the pace of this game significantly higher than what we saw in game 1. Kyobe from downtown. And it's going to be a white ball. Grace stepped on the line as she was trying to deflect and secure the rebound. So Maureen Bosbori to get them started. Michelle Sokoju taking her time. Trying to shake off Doumbia. Not the greatest of passes into the post. We've got a steal.
And we talked about that matchup yesterday between, as Aminata finds Chantal under the rim with a gorgeous feed. We talked about that matchup between Alima Doumbia and Michelle Sokoju.
Semaseku called for the push. No push. And it's going to be blue ball coming back the other way.
It's the finals.
It's the finals. It's supposed to be hard.
And even yesterday we talked about the refs allowing a little bit more physicality.
Kyobe center drive. Oh, in and out. And now Sokoju trying to push the ball on transition. She's got two on her, shakes both defenders off, then too strong off the glass. Akinyi cleans up the mess as the ball goes out of bounds. Zetech Sparks now 13 on the shot clock. Bosbori to inbound.
And it seems that the Zetech Sparks are picking up where they left off yesterday with the offensive glass as a steal. But so far they have turned the ball over quite a number of times very early in the game.
Kyobe, automatic, yes, count that one.
No hesitation.
No hesitation whatsoever, and KPA now have a 1-point lead against Zetech University. About 6:27 on the game clock. Christine Akinyi fumbles the ball, and it's going to be Kenya Ports Authority possession. And that's going to be 2 quick turnovers for Christine Akinyi in the last couple of possessions. We've talked about how important it is for her to lock in and just shake off the cobwebs. So we see Semaseku trying to split the defense. She's rejected by Angela Akinyi. Kiyobe now on the drive, shovel pass. We got a whistle on the floor. 3-second call.
And judging by the scores, this seems to be a repeat of yesterday, where yesterday it was such a close game. Like almost the whole game, it was just a 1-2 point difference.
Michelle Sokoju looking at options, decides to fire from deep off that attempt. And great defense from Kenya Ports Authority. Now push the ball on offensive transition. Grace! Nice, easy finish for her. And that's great ball movement from Kenya Ports Authority.
I always say that whenever your post players, they run the floor on transition, good things are bound to happen.
Bosbori on the drive, comes up short. And Kenya Ports Authority are making sure that Zetech have no second chances to get a bucket, as Alima Doumbia now gives them a starting to be a significant lead.
Yes. Judging by yesterday's game, 5 points is a significant lead.
Yes. Yesterday we didn't see any team lead by more than 7 points. And you have to ask yourself, is it not time for Coach Obi to kind of call a timeout? There's been a bit of a scoring run here for Kenya Ports Authority. Bosbori, great timing on that steal.
Because apart from that turnover, so far KP are the ones who are running Zetech off the court with the transitions. As a beautiful basket right there, tough move.
The power dribble and the finish from Akinyi. Semaseku, drive and kick. Irebu off the mark. Yobe with the offense board and kicks it out for the 3-ball. Slight lapse there, and Michelle Sokoju, she's stripped by Doumbia. Doumbia now with the lay-in. And Zetech University are struggling with their turnovers.
Zetech University are looking a bit rattled early in the game. As Christina Akinyi with a long 3, and yet another fast break point by KPA. And you called it, Coach Obi has called a timeout, because right now Zetech are being run down in transition.
KPA are playing them at their own game. As we know, Zetech Sparks are known for their offensive transition and their speed, and that's exactly what KPA are doing, led by none other than former Zetech Sparks player Chantal Kiyobe. So very much on brand.
Scores are 15-8, and if you look at the baskets that KP have scored, you see for the 8 points that Zetech have scored, they have come hard, they have struggled. These baskets that KP are scoring, they're easy baskets because they're just running the floor.
If you're just joining us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our IG pages, Okapi Sports Network, and send us a DM with the hashtag #DoMoreSports for your chance to get a free t-shirt. Who doesn't love free stuff? I love free stuff. Canel loves free stuff.
Everyone loves free stuff. There's nobody who would have any objection with getting a few freebies, especially branded merchandise. Also, maybe in the comment sections, you can tell us where you're watching from and who you're rooting for. Maybe try and predict the outcome of this game and the series.
It's always great to hear from the fans. We know Kenya has a very strong, sometimes silent, but still very strong basketball community. And we appreciate all of you who are logging in to watch this live feed from Makande Gymnasium. Okapi Sports Network bringing you the best of Kenyan basketball this lovely Sunday afternoon. To take a look at that scoreline once again, KPA up 15-8. There's 3:53 on the game clock in this first quarter.
And KPA are looking to defend their home court because this is the last time they're playing at home this season.
So Kuju shakes off Gracie Rebu. Ooh, so close. And now now she's trying to steal the ball from Dumbia. She has to be careful for the 8-second call, but Sukuju picks up the foul. And I remember at the end of yesterday's game, she was so disappointed with that loss. Those are the heartbreaking ones, isn't it? A 1-point loss.
It is. You know, and we talked about it. Even you said that in your playing days, it is these 1-point losses that haunt you at night, give you sleepless nights.
Semaseku at the top of the key. Gets the screen, shoots a deep one. And now a slight full court press as KPA are slow to get back on defense. Akinyi should have made that read a little bit earlier. The pass came slightly late. She'll now shoot and miss. Akinyi on the boards. Bosbori with the mid-range. That one gets to drop. And it's a 5-point lead for KPA.
They needed that one to go in. So far, we are still at status quo with the largest lead in both games being at 7 points.
KPA working the ball on that. Oh my goodness. Dumbia. Ice in her veins.
Zero hesitation.
The poker face queen drains that 3 ball. And now it's an 8-point lead for KPA. We got some substitutions on the floor. Checking into the game now is Natalie Akinyi and Cynthia Mawero. And it looks like Coach Millicent is going to have the guards put a little bit more ball pressure on Michelle Sokuju and Bosbori as they bring the ball up.
Yeah. Right now, they have gone into a full court press. And you see, the thing is that even with Aminata going to the bench, and when you bring in Natalie, you really don't lose a lot because they are both floor generals who are pass-first guards, and they always try and get their teammates involved.
There's been a substitution for Sparks as well. Marsha Oko is in the game as Akinyi catches a breather. And we talked about this, Tranel. Ball in Sokuju's hands just a little bit too long. One of the easiest ways to break a press is the pass, and you see her and Coach Obi kind of exchange words. I know he's not happy with that play.
The ball always moves faster than the person. And you know, once you give it up, then you can just expect it back.
Bosbori with a teardrop, too strong off the glass, gets her own rebound. That time is way off. And the ball goes out of bounds. I think she caught it when her foot was on the line.
Yeah. And Bosbori was frustrated at herself with that shot, shooting an air ball at such close proximity.
Akinyi kicks it to Dumbia. Irebu. She brings the ball right into the hands of Bosbori. And Bosbori has some sticky hands. Her and Kiyobe in the backcourt when they used to play together at Zetech Sparks, it was very, very tricky for any post player who received that pass at the elbow.
Because they're always looking to provide that extra help defense.
Natalie Akinyi comes up short.
Yeah, she had to launch that one because the shot clock was winding down. It was at 3 seconds. So that was good clock awareness. And also, the whole bench was counting down for her.
Always helpful when the bench comes in to do that. Now, Grace, drive, pass out. One more pass to the corner. Natalie Akinyi, no. Bosbori now having to contend with Dumbia. Oko has to be aware of the clock and passes it out of bounds. Lack of communication between her and her teammate, and the Sparks are frustrated. You can see it in their faces, you can see it in their body language.
She was very well aware of the clock. Well, she just threw the ball at the shot clock.
Maybe she was trying to make it stop. And you can see now, there we go. They had to plug it back in.
Maybe somebody needs to realize that there are other ways of stopping the clock apart from throwing the ball at it.
So Kumu to trigger. Here comes Natalie Akinyi. No problem for her. What a pass!
See, something that KPA are doing differently than Zetech, whenever they bring the ball up, almost everybody gets to touch the ball, as opposed to Zetech.
And the fortuitous steal as Doumbia gets it right back, and then now the runner unsuccessful. It's a scramble for the possession. Bosbori manages to come out with it. Christina Akinyi down the lane. Yes! She gets her first field goal as she goes tumbling to the floor, but we know she's a tough cookie and she'll bounce right back up. But it's that level of aggression that Zetech Sparks need to kick in this game. And you know, it's always tricky with the playoffs because you're playing back-to-back days of games. Your body is sore.
Very.
You're tired, especially a game that was that close as yesterday's. You know, you have to rise above that and mentally will yourself to perform.
And for somebody like Christine who played very heavy minutes, you know, but then it all comes down to the adjustments that you make. As what a beautiful feat by Natalie to find Cynthia Marrero under the rim for the easy two.
That drive and kick seems to be the go-to action for KPA in the paint, and it's working very well for them. You see now Akinyi called for the foul against Beryl. That's not Beryl. Beryl Otieno.
And that was a tough veteran foul by a veteran player. You know, all the coaches that I played for would tell me, if you're going to take a foul, make sure the ball does not see the light of day.
Wise words.
As she sinks the first free throw, and that's a good sign for Zetech. They need baskets like that. They need production like that from the free throws.
So 2 for 2 for Beryl Otieno. Akinyi feeds Mawero in the post. Mawero up and over. And look at that. She's talking to her. Half her size, Everly Diana. With a swat against Mawero.
And I know, Slale, you love that.
Oh, I love blocks. And now Zetech Sparks starting to play like the defensive team we know them to be. And those kind of deflections, even though they didn't secure the ball, those deflections slow down the shot clock.
Yes.
So now it's 16 seconds on the clock for KPA to make something out of this possession. And that's what the Sparks need to keep on doing. They need to be disruptive, get in the passing lanes, put ball pressure.
Totally.
Grace kicks it out to Doumbia. Doumbia fires. Sokuju. Bosbori gets it to Evelyn. Evelyn tries to kick it out. Doumbia with the steal. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. It's a 6-point lead for Kenya Ports Authority, who went on a good scoring run in the first half of the quarter. And then Zetech Sparks now slowly clawing their way back in it.
And you mentioned it, Zetech, they just need to be more aggressive. They need to be way more aggressive, both defensively and offensively, because KPA are not going to hand them the victory. They're going to have to fight for it. And yesterday, early on in the quarter, we mentioned about the fatigue factor. So the question is, as a player, what adjustments do you make to your game? You know, how do you continue to be productive even through the fatigue, through the pain of the loss from yesterday? How do you bounce back?
Well, Kenya Ports Authority already with 8 steals for the quarter, and the difference between what they're doing today and what Zetech didn't do yesterday is that they've been able to convert these steals. So you have their guards being very aggressive with their defense at the half court. They get the steals and then they push the ball on transition. And we've seen several easy lay-ins for Kiyobe, Cynthia Mawero,
Alima,
And that's what has really, really worked very well for them in this first quarter.
Very true. KPA, yesterday during the men's game between the Nairobi City Thunder, we talked about them putting on a transition clinic. So KPA today, they've been running the transition really well. And the thing that I love about it is it's not just one person. They are running a transition in numbers, so there are several options.
Already leading in scoring is Doumbia and Chantel, both with 7 points. Right now for Zetech, it's only Maureen Bosbori who's at 4 points. But I see them slowly starting to heat up. You've got about 6 or 7 players who have already gone up on the scoreboard. And when you have that kind of scoring productivity balanced out across your personnel, it puts you in a good place.
Yes, it does. Because that means that the defense cannot cheat off just one person because everyone is a threat. But also I still say that this is the finals, and the Stars, they need to play like Stars. If you've been dropping 30 or 40 or 50 in the regular season, you have to show up in the finals.
You do.
This is your season that's on the line. So I am hoping that both of the offensive stars from both teams will step up and play like they are playing in the finals.
So Kuju to trigger, hands it off to Diana. Diana, kick back to Sokuju. Sokuju, unlucky. Shot looked good, but just couldn't finish it.
It did, and it was the right shot. She was in her spot. She had a feet set. So as a coach, I would not be mad at that miss.
Semaseku slowing down the offense here, trying to get them into a set play. Christina Kinyi applying the pressure. And now almost a steal. We got the drive from Semaseku and the kick. Corner 3 is good. It was a long range 2. Her foot was on the line, but that was just great ball movement to find Mawero in the corner.
And also with the shot clock winding down.
Angie in traffic, comes up short. KPA setting the pace of this game and doing whatever they want as Bosbori is called for another foul.
Let's see what the score table will indicate. I think
it's going to be her first, I believe.
Yes, it should be her first. As you're waiting for confirmation from the table, but I am totally a fan of aggressive defense. This is the finals.
Semaseku from downtown. Bosbori, defensive rebound stripped away.
That was a bit of a late call by the referee, though it was the right call. If I was Celine, I would have just flung the ball to a teammate.
Sokuju brings it out to the wing, decides to go all the way, and she has just been unlucky over and over again with her attempts. Now we got the drive and the mid-range shot from Selena Okumu as Zetech Sparks trying to get this to be a fruitful possession. Bosbori, that's great defense from Semaseku, and then a kick in. Akinyi almost loses it. Bosbori now launches a deep one. Akinyi miraculously there for the rebound. That is just so impressive. Her ability to get up from the floor and then crash the boards.
It's called being young. If I was to fall, the whole game would have to stop for a minute.
Preach, Tornell. You better preach. Oh, to have the knees of the youth.
And that's something that Zetech, they need to do more of. Score off their offensive rebounds.
Dumbia almost loses it.
With the shot clock winding down, as she misses the straight line drive, Cynthia Marrero stripped of the ball.
And now Zetech Sparks, they've got numbers. Celine Okumo, a great recovery defense from her.
Yes.
Managed to disrupt the play. So they're going to have to reset at the baseline as we have a substitution. Yvonne Atieno coming onto the floor. She'll sub out Grace Irebu.
And if you've noticed so far, Zetech have not been able to get out on the floor in transition. I think in the first quarter, as Christina Kinyi hits a big three, and that is something that will definitely boost her confidence.
It certainly will. She's now leading the Zetech Sparks in scoring with 5 points. And she is automatic from beyond the arc as Zetech Sparks now playing suffocating defense as KPA. If they don't get it on the outside, they're going to get it on the inside. Yvonne Atieno just checked into the game and already has her first field goal. And that's a beautiful find for Christina Kinyi. You're going to call the travel on her. But was it really the right pass? Because she had 2 defenders on her.
That was not the right pass. And you see, sometimes the person passing, for example, if she's posting up, she can't see maybe where the help is coming from. But the person who's giving the pass is able to see, and they should have given the pass somewhere else.
Every decision matters in playoff basketball. Kick out. Mawero off the mark on that attempt. So Kuju tumbles to the floor. Ball is stolen away. KPA with another chance to score. The shovel pass and the kick out to Dumbia. Dumbia way off. And this time Zetech Sparks doing a better job securing the boards. Christina Kinyi decides to take Mawero mano a mano. Comes up short.
Something that I've noticed with the Zetech Sparks is that they are going for the double team on almost every possession. And KPA, the shooters, they need to take advantage of that because they are doubling almost every possession. So that means that there's always somebody free. And KPA, they haven't fully capitalized on that just yet.
So with 5:55 in this second quarter, it's a 5-point game. KPA have managed to maintain this lead for the better part of the game. Oh, that's a beautiful bullet pass. And then the finish from Akinyi. And one. That's going to cost KPA a free throw.
And Zetech, they are finding ways to keep themselves alive, to stay in this game. At some point, KPA were up by 8. Now it's only down to a 3-point lead. And with the possibility of making it a 2-point game.
To take a look at that replay, the good job from the guard to draw the defense and the kick out to Akinyi. Akinyi does make it a 3-point play, and Zetech back to very much within arm's reach of KPA. Semaseku decides to go for the drive baseline. Looks like she stepped on the line. They're going to call the push on her on Akinyi. Looks
yes,
like it.
Yes. And can we just take a moment and appreciate the beautiful double crossover by Aminata with her eyes still up. You know, and as you say, she had the ball in a string. It was like as if she was playing with a yo-yo.
Any guard that can have ball handling skills like that while keeping their eye on what's happening on the floor is a national treasure. Minayo, Michelle Sokuju. Sokuju almost loses it. Akinyi bails her out, got a pass, and then Semaseku with another steal. And she is on track to beat her record of steals yesterday. She had 4 for the game, and right now in the second quarter, she's already at 3.
Again, playing the passing lane to perfection. And you love to see her doing it at both ends of the floor, you know. She's as Celine had nowhere to go, and she ends up taking a rather ill-advised shot.
So Evelyn to bring the ball up. Almost goes all the way to the cup, sends it to Christine. Christine off balance. And that shot is way off. You got Akinyi on the drive. Christine sends the ball out of the court. Sweet redemption.
That was an emphatic chase down block. I think maybe yesterday night she was watching a lot of LeBron James clips.
And who knows, just as significant as that LeBron James block was, maybe that Christine Akinyi block will be the catalyst to give Zetech the lead against KPA here. Michelle Sokuju, step back three, no. And Trinell, we've seen Sokuju take the ball up all by her lonesome and then, take that shot off. She's not hit a three-point shot since the beginning of this game. I don't know if that was the right play. Let's see what her decision-making will be in this one. Great pass to Akinyi, and then Semaseku, the necessary foul. I think that was the better decision.
Yes. As a coach, no matter how gifted you are, I am not a fan of her bringing the ball up and taking the shot without at least her teammates getting a touch on the ball. I think maybe that's something that that Coach Obi may be telling her right now. Because then the rest of the team become your spectator and not really involved in the action.
Well, Coach Obi takes Michelle out of the game just as we have this conversation about the decisions she's been making on the floor, as Akinyi now 3 for 3 from the free throw line. And she is single-handedly bringing Zetech back into this game. She could even out the score right here. Off the mark on that one. Bosbori trying to chase down the boards. Oh, Kiyobe denies the second chance. Here comes Semaseku. Kiyobe at the wing. Gets it back to Semaseku. Semaseku loses the ball. Now we got a nice pass to Minayo, who's wide open for the easy lay-in. Zetech Sparks take back the lead for the first time in this second quarter.
That's awesome hustle play, and I really love how they clamped down that defense. You see, whenever Aminata drives, they collapse the defense. So Aminata needs to do a better job of finding the open player.
Semaseku lines it up. Not able to knock it down. And that's going to be a hard foul called on Minayo. But listen, I love it. Hard fouls like that in playoff basketball is very well received, very well welcomed. For me, it communicates desire. A desire to win at no matter what it takes.
Yes. And Sale, these are the finals. No one is going to hand you the victory. That was a foul worthy of the stage.
And you see she got Semaseku heaving at the free throw line, and she doesn't have the legs to hit that first free throw shot, so she's going to take a deep breather and have another go at it.
In moments like that, she needs to pull some veteran moves. After getting such a hard foul, when the ref gives you the ball, you can give it back and you can pretend to tie your shoelaces just to catch your breath and to compose. Those are veteran moves.
You're welcome, all you listeners. Trinell giving you the tea. Bosbori not able to find her shooter's touch yet. Wandago now into the game. It's a double team on her. And a steal again from Zetech Sparks. That full court pressure is working really well as Akinyi. She's got the other Akinyi on her, and then we have a push.
Actually, the referee called an out of bounds because she was off balance. So it made it very easy for the defender to gain space on her. And as we mentioned earlier, if you notice, like with the Zetech Sparks, they are doubling everything. They're putting so much of pressure on the ball. The moment the ball goes to one side, somebody will jump out to help.
Kiyobe fires off the mark, chases down her own rebound. It's going to be white ball.
The KPA players seem to be in disagreement, but then again, we said very rarely do players agree with the ref's calls.
Very rarely. Very rarely. It is our right to protest. We shall exercise our right to protest.
And furthermore, this is Kenya. We'll have protesting.
Christine finds Bosbori. Bosbori center drive and kick out to Akinyi. And that's great defensive recovery on the KPA end.
Actually, I was already celebrating the basket.
I knew it was going to go in. So that's great hustle from KPA defensively. Bosbori now wants the screen. Tries to get it back to Angie. Angie, can she finish it? No, she's hacked. Just before that buzzer. And that will send Angie Akinyi back to the free throw line for the third time in this first half.
And which she has had some success with. She's 3 out of 4.
It's a tied game here, 2:17 left on the game clock. Angie Akinyi to shoot a couple of free throws. I really like her high arching
I was just
free throw shots.
I was just about to comment on that also. Like, man, that ball goes so high.
Very fundamentally sound.
Yep.
So drains the second free throw.
Nothing but net.
Back to a 1-point game. Semaseku out to Doumbia. Doumbia wants the screen, decides not to take it, goes for the center drive and kick. And that's great defense from Angie Akinyi on the block. Michelle Semaseku trying to keep things alive. Once again, Angie to the rescue. And Bosbori unable to get past Kiyobe. Kiyobe is one of the best face-up defenders in this league.
She definitely is. For the position that she plays, she's definitely a very solid defender.
Sokuju. She's at the wing. Picks up her dribble, kicks it out to Christine. Christine is automatic. Christine is off. And they had to rush the tail end of that play.
As a foul is called on Maureen Bosibori, she's very vital to Zetech, and you definitely don't want to see her in foul trouble. Yes, and that's her second foul. As Chantal Kiyobe is at the line. Now remember, as she calmly hits the first one, Chantal Kiyobe hit the game-winning free throw yesterday.
She doesn't crack under the pressure.
You mentioned it yesterday. As she calmly sinks the second one.
So KPA are now back in the lead. These two teams going back and forth like a swinging door. Sokuju
gives it up to Naomi Bosibori. Almost a turnover by Zetech.
And Michelle Sokuju looking a little bit rattled in this game too, if you ask me. She's generally a very composed player. It could be the sticky defense that KPA are also giving to her. They know that she's the key to unlock success for Zetech Sparks. So Christine Akinyi too strong off the glass.
Unfortunately, she couldn't make Yvonne pay because Yvonne fell asleep and she made a beautiful backdoor cut.
Look at the crossovers that Semaseku is delivering. And then the runner. In another world, that would have been a lob and an alley-oop. And another turnover for Michelle.
And you mentioned it, Chantal being a very active defender.
The kick out, the steal from Bosbori is completed. They got the long pass. No. Defense recovers. Bosbori now swatted away by Kiyobe, who picks up personal foul.
As Alima Dumbia is still on the floor, she seems to be tying her shoelaces. Initially, she felt that there was a lot of contact on that steal by Bosibori.
Once again, the refs are letting the girls play, and I approve that decision.
You fully endorse it.
I fully endorse it. So we've got a dead ball, and it's going to be Bosibori to shoot a couple of free throws.
The referee deemed that Barbara Diana got a bit too much of the hand on that last attempt.
Zetech Sparks are 55% from the free throw line today.
And I'm pretty sure that that percentage has dipped a bit more after those two missed free throws.
For sure. Dumbia doing that dance. Goes all the way to the rack. Wow. And that's going to be a holding foul.
Yes.
Called on Ivona Tieno. But Alima Dumbia, the change of direction, the speed,
the strength.
the strength on that head-to-head matchup between her and Michelle Sokuju, she is definitely in the lead and definitely dominating Sokuju.
She is making it very hard for Michelle to operate the way she normally does. As Akinyi sings yet another free throw.
So Zetech Sparks are now in the bonus.
Yes. Actually, both teams are in the bonus.
We've got about 12 seconds here on the game clock. So not too much time for either side to take full advantage of it, as Angie misses on that attempt. Bosibori with the O board, now trying to get it out. They don't have much time to shoot. Michelle Sokuju's got the rock in her hands, and another pass out of bounds, as Michelle Sokuju's delivery continues to struggle. That's going to bring us to halftime, and it's score tied. We've seen this script before.
It's like as if they are doing a rerun of yesterday. Again,
It's given us deja vu.
again, this is a very low scoring game, just as yesterday. Scores are tied, just as yesterday. and I was expecting the coaches to make adjustments. Maybe at halftime they will.
Well, we'll talk about a lot more about what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. But first, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go too far. Stock up on your snacks. We'll be right back.
My name is Gift Kerubo. I play position 2 for Spears, and I've been playing basketball for 7 years, since 2017 when I was in high school. Yeah. I feel like everyone thinks about it, but yeah, me personally, I have thought about it. Basketball kama career, like a full-time career, is really nice. If I love sports, so if I get something like that, it would make me happy, and I would obviously accept the offer.
And what do you think, like, why do you think the limitation inakuja wapi to hindering that dream?
Me, the first limitation is kuna few teams. Opportunities ni few, because not many teams take pro players, pro. They're very, very few. Like, especially in Kenya, there are not many pro teams. Like, okay, let me take an example of Thunder. If you look at men's teams, a team you could say is pro is Thunder, maybe KPA and Equity. But what else? It's just them. And when you look at women's team, it's just KPA and Equity. Those are 2 teams, and there's so many players in Kenya. There are like more than 100.
Yeah,
there are many players who want the same opportunity as I do.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult, but maybe hard work. Hard work might get you there.
Yeah.
Jemima, I have. But I don't know her name. Her second name, Jemima Equity. But I wouldn't. Sitaki sound glazed ndo asikie kwa hiyo interview ati I looked at her. Locally, I admire to be like Jemima. I want to shoot like her. She's someone I look up to because she plays exactly how I feel I should be playing. Basketball is like my relief from life, and I feel like playing basketball has helped me. It has built my confidence. It has made me a better person. Like, I used to be so timid, but right now I am such a better person. I can do so many things by myself. Basketball has done so much for me. That's why I love it.
Hello, my name is Brian Otieno, head coach at Soccer Plus Academy.
Tulianza kufanya exam Tuesday na tulikuwa tuenda swimming. Sasa tuenda. Sisi tunaenda bado.
Anything else?
Good thing I also improved in science from 64 to 84.
64 to 84. That's 20. Sasa pigia apate na course. Apige na course. Apate na copy yake. So what we do in a nutshell is every morning when you come to training, let them express themselves, making them share with us how their week has been. Adrian, on you, tell us.
Something. Where? Salam.
Sasa.
Something good.
Yes. We had 7 birthdays in our class.
7.
No mana.
In one day.
That is why you have
Jana.
7 birthdays.
18.
Okay.
Kila mtu ni 18.
Something bad. I dropped by 1%.
By 1%. So every kid has to talk, telling us something good or something bad about their week.
Mwingine ambaye sikuenda shule.
Kwenda shule. Jana kwenda shule.
Jana nilienda shule last
Thursday. Okay. Because when you come to the field, one of the most important acts is communication. As a player, how can you communicate? Then that communication, when you harness it, how does it help you even at home? How does it help you at school? How do you communicate with your mom? How do you communicate with your father? How do you communicate with the teachers? How do you relate with your fellow students? Let's be in the pitch in the next 10 seconds.
Vamos!
Yeah, it was interesting because one kid said he got less by 1%.
Yeah.
And it's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing. Yeah.
It's only 1%. So it's very interesting to see how they think, how they reason, and what they consider is good and bad.
Yeah.
And do you have like a success story about these kids? Like a kid maybe you have seen what they have become, what they were, and what they are now?
Yes, we've had success stories, and one of the success stories, one of the players that is currently with us is called Edward.
Nataka kuona vile una stop. Aliacha viatu nyumbani ati ni baridi. Edward, unasimama juu, ukirudi unasimama mahali umeenda, usirudi chini.
Enda juu Edward.
Enda juu Edward. Ready? Set.
When Edward came, we thought maybe Edward was shy, but I came to understand that it was not about shyness. It was about Edward not being given a platform in his previous team, a platform to express himself.
Yeah.
So we started to build that. We started working on that. We brought some exercises in the football that could make Edward talk.
Let's go again. Mike on my ball. Shut again position.
But we are happy when we see him express himself. You know, he's talking, he's smiling. Yeah, so Edward, he was very shy, and that was like 6 months ago. When all this is said and done, that is what will judge us.
Let's go, 10 seconds to go.
We'll not be judged by how good a player can pass a ball. We'll be judged by how good this player has become.
1.
You're just joining us. Welcome to Makande Gymnasium for Game 2 of the KNBL Women's Finals between Kenya Ports Authority and Zetech Sparks. And it's looking a lot like deja vu. Kenya Ports Authority and Zetech Sparks at a stalemate, 27 points apiece. And we are seeing the script starting to play out very similarly to what we saw yesterday, Tranel.
Same script, different day, different jerseys. Well, first of all, let me point out this is a very low scoring game. I mean, this is the finals and we are 27 apiece at halftime. But if you look at the numbers never lie and they tell you why the scores are at this point. For Zetech, they are shooting a very low 12.5% from the 3-point line and 37.5 from the field, which is extremely low. Also, another point to note is that Zetech have turned the ball over 14 times as opposed to KPA's 12 times. You know, there is no way that the scores would be higher if the turnovers are that many.
So KPA shooting the ball significantly better, and Zetech Sparks having the opportunities to shoot but not being able to connect. I don't know as a coach how to tell your players to score baskets because they're shooting. They are attempting, they're just not scoring.
Yes. I still feel that the star players have not been unlocked or they haven't played to their full potential. People like Grace, people like Michelle, you know, people like even somebody like Christine, you know, they still haven't played to their full potential. As Christine tries to hop step her way to the rim and is met by Yvonne, who fouls her, a blocking foul, and Christine will go to the line.
So the second half here well underway. Zetech Sparks have been shooting 50% from the free throw line, a statistic that I'm sure they want to improve on. Christine Akinyi tends to be a high-performing free throw shooter.
This is definitely a welcome sight to see the ball go in the rim, given her struggles from yesterday at the line. As the ball is tipped out of bounds and KPA get the possession.
Akinyi actually thought KPA had the last touch, which is why she allowed the ball to go out of bounds. She could have actually saved it.
At times, you know, it is, you should never assume.
Atieno feeds Irebu in the post. Irebu's got jerseys all around her.
She was, on that particular possession, she was triple teamed.
And you talked about this earlier, Tranel, about recognizing when the double teams and the triple teams are coming into play and having the basketball IQ to realize that there's one or two other players who are probably wide open.
Very wide open.
So it just requires patience. And sometimes patience is hard in basketball. As we see Beryl trying to get to the rack. Got Dumbia coming on the other end. It's a kick out to Kiyobe. Kiyobe, stop and pop. Gets the runner to drop.
I told you, Slale, you really need to consider a career in rap.
In another life, me and Jay-Z, we were competing for who would be number one.
So, if you were to be a rapper, what would be your stage name?
Oh, I will give you my answer by the men's game.
Men's game, okay.
By the men's game. I need to consult ChatGPT for a moment. You know.
I'll remind you, as Aminata with a beautiful drive, kick out to Alima wide open, doesn't get it to drop. Irebu pulls down the big board. On that particular possession, I felt that Chantal had the wide open shot, and she is known to be a shooter. She has knocked down a couple of shots, so I don't know why she didn't take it. But luckily enough, Yvonne was there for cleanup duties, and she's at the line.
So Yvonne gets the first free throw to go. And then it misses. I guess Christina Akinyi to bring the ball up. Kiobe not putting too much pressure on her. Bosbori now. And the spacing for Zetech Sparks was poor in that possession, and KPA take full advantage of it. Grace Irebu. Steal. And now another possession for KPA to convert and extend this 2-point lead a little bit further. Sema Seku drive and kick. Grace to Kiobe. Kiobe's got 5 to shoot. Kiobe has found the play that is working so well for her. Second runner in the last 2 minutes of play. And it's KPA now with a 4-point lead. Michelle Sokuju trying to direct traffic and goes right into the waiting arms of Kiobe.
Yeah, so actually the foul was assessed on Alima, who was a bit over physical. But I love to see it. You know, it is very hard to fully contain an offensive player as gifted as Michelle. At some point she will foul, at some point she will get a bucket or two. But that should not put Alima down, because she has been doing an amazing job given the caliber that Michelle Sokoju is at.
She truly has. They've managed to hold Sokoju to 2 points in this game, which is incredibly impressive considering she averages 20 plus points per game. They've also helped in forcing turnovers. Sokoju has 4 turnovers, the most than any other player on the floor. As we have some action happening on the court.
Grace was just assessed with a technical for over-protesting to the referee. So that means that Michelle, because she was initially fouled and she was at the line, so I don't know what the referees will decide.
So you can be penalized for over-protesting?
Yes.
Even if you use kind words?
Well, I don't think that the referee found whatever Grace was saying kind. Because Grace was going at it with him.
So Kuju makes both free throws.
But if that was a technical foul, I thought that they would retain the possession. Oh, but it was an off the ball, and she was already at the line, so it overrules. Okay. But she calmly sinks all 3. And you know, at times, as an offensive player, all you need is just to see the ball going in the rim, into the cup, and then it might act as a catalyst.
Sema Seku up and under attempt looks so pretty. Minayo now chases the ball down, trying to keep it alive. So Kuju off balance. They kick it out for the shot. Bosbori from downtown.
Another long 2. You know, at times it kind of reminds me, you know, when Kevin Durant hit that shot, which everybody thought was a 3, but on replay, his big toe was on the line.
Kevin Durant's got some big feet too. Bosbori trying to apply pressure. A long pass to Christine Akinyi. Akinyi kicks it out. And she should have had the confidence to finish that play. She had 1 defender on her.
Yes. That one, she should have clearly asked for that dance. As the timeout is called on the floor by KPA.
We've got just about 6.5 left. And Turnell is constantly preaching about the importance of third quarters and at how you have to come out of the halftime with a punch.
Yes, you definitely do, because by halftime you know what's working and what's not. So the third quarter is about making a statement. Because whatever adjustments you needed to make, you know, when the game starts, maybe the game plan is for a certain player, but that player is off and somebody else is on. So by halftime, the coaches, the players, they should all know what's working and what's not. So I normally expect, like we saw it yesterday with Nairobi City Thunder, they had a huge third quarter, and by them having a huge third quarter, they basically ended the game in the third quarter.
That they did. And while we have some dead time over here, why don't you head over to our Instagram pages, Okapi Sports Networks. There is an opportunity to get a free t-shirt. We got them in black and in white. All you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube page and then follow our Instagram pages, Okapi Sports, and send us a DM with the hashtag #DoMoreSports. You stand a chance to win a t-shirt. Why don't you go ahead and have faith and send your size as well.
So yesterday I asked you whether we qualify and you said you'll talk to the management. I'm still waiting for the feedback. I can send you my size right now.
Doumbia, tough move.
Ooh. Man, she for a minute there I thought she was playing rugby. As Chantal gets the big steal off the inbound and converts it. 2 quick buckets for KPA off the timeout.
And that's the kind of intensity that a finals team needs, taking advantage of the lapses in defense, the lapses in judgment. Bosbori now at the top of the key. She wants the screen, she gets it. Akinyi on the pick and roll, goes all the way to the cup, and Grace, excellent effort on defense, and then throws it right back into the hands of Christine Akinyi as we have a travel call on Ashley Minayo. And what a sequence of events there for Kenya Ports Authority. The 2 quick buckets, the steal, the block from Grace on the other end. Momentum very firmly on Kenya Ports Authority's side right now.
That is definitely the energy you want off a timeout. As Grace is called for the travel, she lifted her pivot foot, and the look on her face says it all. She has to be very careful as she's already on one technical. If she gets another one, she's automatically out of the game.
Bosbori swipes, gets it to Angie Akinyi. Akinyi is fouled on the way up. It's going to cost KPA 2 free throws.
And hey, for once I've seen a player acknowledging the foul. That foul was assessed on Yvonne and she nodded her head in agreement.
A rare occurrence today. As Akinyi gets set up to take the free throw.
She has been one of the better free throw shooters for Zetech today, and right on cue she gets the first one to drop.
It's a 2-point lead. Akinyi could make this a 1-point lead. She does, and for the second time in this game she has brought Zetech Sparks back to 1 point away from KPA.
Even the first time she did it at the line. As a foul is assessed on Maureen Bosibori, she should be careful. That's her third. And given the number of minutes she normally... Oh, the table has actually shown that's her 4th foul.
That's interesting though, because I feel like it is her 3rd.
In the first half when I was counting, I counted 2 fouls. But the table, I guess, their decision is final. And Maureen Bosibori needs to be very careful. Zetech don't want to see her sit on the bench this early.
Oh, look at the high off the glass finish from Kiyobe. She's having herself a game.
This is the 3rd time she has done that same move. Oh man, she has finally found something that is working for her. As she tries to hunt down that ball but is unsuccessful, but great deflection.
Kiyobe is locked in. She is leading now with 17 points. And I believe she had 10 points at the half. So 7 of those points have come in this 3rd quarter.
She is totally locked in.
Getting things done on both ends of the floor. And that was a great move from Akinyi, but just couldn't finish it. Now the long pass to Doumbia. Doumbia gets it back up top. And then Kiyobe, I think the ball, slippery maybe, throws it way out of reach for Barbara.
Yeah, but also, I don't feel like she was in the right position to make that pass. She didn't have that passing angle.
Then the ball goes out of bounds. I'm not a fan of Zetech Sparks coming up the floor and shooting when barely any time has gone off the shot clock. We saw Michelle Sokuju do it. We've seen Christine do it here again.
And as we had pointed out earlier, one of the difference between KPA and Zetech is KPA always go into their set plays and make sure people get involved. Beautiful feed by Chantal. You know, she drove, pulled the defense and kicked it out to Grace, who is almost automatic from the mid-range.
Kyobe is on fire. Christine, unlucky. Beryl with the attempt. They're not going to call the foul. It's going to be KPA ball. Playing good, tough, clean defense.
You know, back in the days, maybe in the 90s or the early 2000s, there was a rule where it was very hard to block from behind, but FIBA amended the rules. As long as you get the ball, you can block it from whichever angle you want.
I wish they had that rule when I was playing basketball. I was robbed so many times.
Slale, I think that you need to write a letter of protest to FIBA.
Official protest.
Yes, and share your grievances. I think you need to be compensated.
I do. Doumbia blows past her defender, and then the finger roll finish. Kenya Ports Authority are smelling blood in the water, and now they take their first 7-point lead in this game.
And right now, Coach Obi is forced to call a timeout simply because of the momentum shift. Apart from those 2 free throws by Akinyi, they don't have a lot going on.
You see the fans enjoying the vibes here. KPA fans, legendary. None can compare in this country.
If they hadn't banned the use of vuvuzelas, right now this place, it would be chaotic.
It would be deafening. It would be deafening.
I am really wondering what adjustments Coach Obi is going to ask his team to make. And we have seen Zetech do this time and time again during this series, where they go down by 7. Today at some point they went down by 8, the first 8-point lead of this series, but they clawed their way back to come and take the lead. Now they're down by 7 again. And you know, it's hard to play when you're always trying to catch up. You know, if I was Zetech, I would try to make a run and let KPA play catch up, because Zetech have been chasing this whole series.
They have, but they've got to find an answer for Chantal Kyobe. 19 points for her. 9 of those points have come in this third quarter alone. And they've got to deny that center lane drive that she likes to have. But she's also been active on the assist end, being very generous with sharing the ball and getting her teammates involved. That's a tough player to stop.
Very tough. And then she's doing it very actively at both ends of the floor. She's playing defense at a high level, and today she has gone deep into her bag. 19 points with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. As Alima tries to flip one up but doesn't get it to drop.
Christina Kinyi to bring the ball up. Gets it to Evelyn. Evelyn tries to float the pass in. We got a push from Grace Irebu.
And I agree with that call. Grace myself felt that it's marginal, you know, and you being a former post player, you know how hard it is to fight for space in the block. And it's at times it gets like very physical.
It does. And just, you know, in the heat of the moment, sometimes you don't realize that you've pushed your opponent. You know, you're trying to get momentum, you're trying to get positioning, you give them a little nudge, and then you hear the whistle on the floor. Akinyi blocked by Gracie Rebu, who's getting it done on both ends of the floor. And then Doumbia gets the pass. Barbara Euro steps to the cup. The fans love it.
And it all started on the defensive end with and Grace is also having herself a defensive game. She has gotten quite a number of blocks even this quarter alone.
And then on the other end, Beryl Otieno locked up as she puts the ball down. And let me tell you, the Lady Dockers, this third quarter is theirs. We now have the largest lead that we've seen
in this series.
10 points, 35-44. We got 2:19 on the game clock.
As the KPA technical bench seem to be all up in arms against that call. KPA are over the foul limit, so that will send Burrell to the line. That is definitely a very welcome sight. You know,
she's 3 for 3, I believe, from the free throw line. Has a nice touch.
Players need to understand that the easiest time to score baskets at the free throw line because the clock has stopped. Grace is having herself a defensive game.
She is indeed, as Doumbia brings the ball up. And again, KPA now in full control of this game. They are doing whatever they want to do. Doumbia is blocked. Angie Akinyi, we're talking about two-way players. She has been getting things done for Zetech Sparks on both ends of the floor. And that's going to be her first block. I thought she had more.
I thought so too.
Doumbia gets it off before the buzzer, but off the mark. Naomi Bosbori, tough attempt.
Again, Barbara assumed that the last touch was of Zetech, and Grace was shouting at her that she touched it last, which leads to another possession for Zetech. And Christine just basically throws it out of bounds.
I'm seeing a lack of body control for the Zetech Sparks bigs. And that's not to say they don't have body control, but in this game, they're attempting shots off balance, shoulders not squared up, and they're missing a lot of opportunities to either score or even just draw the foul. Let's look at the backdoor cut from Kiyobe. Kiyobe now at 21 points, and she is the star of the afternoon for the Lady Dockers. Christina Akinyi, turnover. Barbara gets it to Doumbia. Doumbia slows things down. Then the drive and the handoff. Barbara now tries to kick it out. Kiyobe is fouled.
Wow. So KPA are currently at their largest lead now with 10 points. And they're slowly starting to run away with it. Can Zetech find the energy? Can they dig in deep to make yet another comeback? We have seen them come back from 8 points. Now this is the first double-digit lead of this series.
They're going to have to execute near-perfect basketball as we've got under a minute here in the third quarter. 10 points is not a lot.
It's not.
In basketball terms. But if you look at the trend and the trajectory of this game, a 10-point lead might as well be a 40-point lead.
Given that they've been neck and neck for the whole series. No. And now it's Coach Morris Obi's turn to have a go at the referees. Zetech are just over the foul limit with that foul. So we'll have Barbara Dana at the line for 2.
Barbara, just soft touch, but just unlucky on that free throw attempt. And gets the second one to go. So now it's an 11-point lead for KPA. Doumbia steal, finds Kiyobe. Kiyobe lines it up. And if she had drained that, that would have been something. And we have another trap for KPA, who've got their eyes on the prize. They are giving Zetech Sparks backcourt a nightmare.
Right now, KPA's defense is totally suffocating the Zetech Sparks. And KPA, their identity under Coach Ojuku for the longest time has been their defensive prowess and intensity. And it's good to see them going back to what they are known for.
You know, they say offense wins games and defense wins championships. Do you believe that, Tranel?
I agree 100%. Unless you can totally outscore your opponents by a landslide, you know, but at some point you have to play defense.
We got a packed house here at Makande Gymnasium. This is the first of a doubleheader. We got the men's KPA team playing against Nairobi City Thunder after this game. Bosbori, long three. And Grace bails her out.
Yeah.
So Bosbori to the free throw line to shoot 3 free throws.
Grace acknowledges that she was out of position, and again, for once today we're seeing players acknowledging their fouls. Just given that a few minutes ago Grace was assessed with a technical foul, so it is nice to see her acknowledging when she's in the wrong. And these free throws have been the Achilles heel for Zetech. You see, like for example, in this particular possession, you go to the free throw line 3 attempts, because that would have at least made it an 8-point game.
Finally gets the third one to drop, and costly mistakes for Zetech Sparks are preventing their chances of cutting down this lead. Irebu to Kiyobe. Kiyobe had the space to shoot. She's off target.
Yeah, but like that was very good realization that the game clock was almost up and she had to hoist it up. But she's having herself a game.
She is indeed. And that'll take us to the bottom of the third quarter. Kenya Ports Authority came out punching, took away the lead, and now they sit on a nice, comfy 10 points lead against Zetech Sparks, who have cooled off.
We talked about 2 things about the importance of a third quarter and a star player, and today we have seen both. KPA have stepped up in the third quarter, and they have found their star player in Kiyobe, who has taken the offensive load with a commanding 21 points.
And then we have to talk about KPA's defense.
Yes.
They've played good, clean basketball. Right now, Zetech are at 22 turnovers, KPA at 16. But look at these steals. 17 steals for KPA. And not only are they stealing the ball, they are converting. Defense turns into a quick offense. They're making the easy baskets, and that's how they've been able to take this 10-point lead.
And earlier on, you had mentioned that the Zetech Sparks post players seem to be off balance. I think also part of it is due to the pressure that the KPA defense is giving them, not allowing them to get the proper positioning and spacing that they need. Like even as you watch the highlights, in this particular quarter, we have seen Grace Irebu come up with a number of defensive stops. And I think that part of a huge reason to KPA's success so far has been their stifling defense.
Vibes only here at Makande Gymnasium.
Sights and scenes.
Tranel, I saw you do that move once.
Maybe 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Before social media was a real thing, right?
Thank God that there was no social media back in the day. These days, you never know who's watching. You never know. You might find yourself trending, and not for the right reasons.
But it's good to see a diverse group of fans here in the arena. You got the young, the old, people from all over the world coming to watch the final series of the season, and the 2 top-seeded teams going at it. Now remember, we go back to Nairobi for the remainder of the series. Game 3 will be played on Friday, and if necessary, Game 4 on Saturday, Game 5 on Sunday. So it's 1 more week before we wrap up the season and talk about who are the champions, who are the league MVPs. I believe the Defensive Player of the Year will be awarded as well. So lots to look forward to
Indeed.
as this final quarter gets underway.
This is the final quarter that KPA are playing on their home court.
Irebu fires. And Akinyi grabs the rebound. Believe she stepped on the line, so it's going to be KPA ball.
Something I found a bit funny that the referee, after blowing the whistle, he did not point which direction. And the players were left there a bit confused for a minute as a foul is assessed on the floor. That's a foul on he indicated number 13, but I don't see Christine on the floor. Oh, there she is under the rim. As she picks up her third foul.
Akinyi, the rim protector for Zetech Sparks. She's racking these blocks up. Semaseku now on the drive, dish, buckets. She is just so composed.
Right. A true floor general.
True floor general. Bosbori now had the space to take the shot. Rebu with a defensive board. Now Semaseku pushing things on transition. Tries to go all the way with it. And Sokuju stops her.
I'm still trying to process whether that was the best decision, because either way she had no help from her teammates and Zetech were back in numbers.
Sokuju hits Akinyi and a travel called on Akinyi. It's another turnover that Zetech Sparks absolutely don't need, as it has now become a 12-point lead for KPA.
And KPA slowly pulling away and running away with it.
Yobe almost loses it. Swing the ball to the other end. Doumbia fires. No. Defensive board for Bosbori, who bring the ball up as well. Akinyi kind of put her head down and attack, and she's fouled on the floor.
And I guess that it being Sunday today, we see a number of players acknowledging their fouls. This is the Lord's Day.
We have to honor the Lord on the Lord's Day. Got to keep it honest on the floor. So just about 8.5 to go here. Got a substitution. Beryl checks out, where Darlene Joroge checks in for Zetech Sparks. Michelle Sokuju has been all but snuffed out in this game. A very quiet 5 points delivery for her as we continue with the fourth quarter and approach the 8-minute mark. Kiyobe thought about it. Didn't have the confidence to close out the shot. Akinyi now managing to secure the boards. There's the push down the floor. Sokuju. Oh my Lord. Yvonne Atieno, say something.
You know, you see, it's like there are some players who, who have the ability to talk, but Yvonne, it's not in her demeanor. She's one of the quietest people. There's a day I asked her, "Have you ever shouted in your whole life?" And she just laughed.
How could you ask her that?
Yeah, no, it's because she's always so quiet.
Yeah.
I ask her, even on defense, I never see you shouting. You know. Yvonne, a very exciting young player, and she got her first call up to the national team.
Good feed for Yvonne, the lady we are talking about right now. This time she hits him with a little celly. And that's what we're talking about. That's the little personality that we're trying to see in this game. As Michelle Sokuju, she's locked up.
Trapped with nowhere to go.
Tip ball, Irebu secures the board. Again. And now Kenya Ports Authority with another opportunity to score. That time, Zetech saw it coming. Bosbori with the steal.
That was suffocating defense by KPA. And I saw Coach Obi on the sidelines asking for a timeout. I don't know whether he will still take it if the ball goes out of bounds.
Kinyi tracks down the board and tries to wriggle away from Kiyobe, but they're going to call the jump ball. Chantal Kiyobe, Zetech Sparks' biggest headache comes from one of their former players. And, you know, it's expected because she knows how they play. She knows all the team secrets.
She has been a part of that program for the last four plus years, you know, and she was a very integral part of that program, I might add.
The hunter becomes the hunted.
All's fair in love and war. We will hug and we will laugh after the game, but during those 40 minutes, you are not my friend.
As it should be. As it should be. And so now Kenya Ports Authority have taken a 51-37 lead against the Zetech Sparks. We got a timeout where some adjustments are being made on the floor. Coach Millicent, let's give her her flowers. She has done a phenomenal job leading the Lady Dockers to this point in the series where they are very much on track to take a 2-0 lead.
As things stand, if Zetech don't make a push in the next 2 minutes, this game will be over and done with. Right now, Zetech need to come with the intensity and the hustle and to show the desire that they deserve to be here.
So we're going to have Michelle Sokoji trigger the offensive play. Picks up her dribble, manages to get the ball in to Darlene Joroge. And Joroge before the buzzer off the glass. And Sparks needed that bucket.
They definitely did.
Semaseku brings the ball up. A cool, calm demeanor. This time almost loses her handle on it.
Which is a very rare occurrence based on what we've seen so far.
And then now the steal. Deflection from Akinyi. Here comes Sokuju. Sokuju. Ball is poked out of bounds. And Michelle Sokuju looking like a shadow of the player we know her to be in the regular season. Playoff basketball is a different beast. Bosbori steps into the mid-range. She's off. The ball goes out of bounds.
Also, I cannot talk enough about the phenomenal job that Alima has done on Michelle so far.
We've talked about that head-to-head matchup. Now Sokuju forced to shoot. Kinyi cleans up the mess, kicks it out. Second chance opportunity for Sokuju. Sokuju still not able to find the bottom of the net. She has not made a single three-point shot in this game. And is 33% from inside the arc. Doumbia to Yvonne. Yvonne kicks it out. Shot clock winding down.
I think in that particular possession, KPA were not aware of the shot clock, which is rare because I felt that they passed up a couple of shots with the hope of trying to get a better shot, not realizing that the time was winding down.
So Kuju, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again, was a person, it would be Michelle Sokuju. You can't tell her nothing. So Akinyi once again keeping Zetech in it, brought it back to a 10-point lead.
And off that timeout by the Zetech Sparks, KPA have gone a bit cold.
Again, shot clock starting to wind down. Wild attempt from Doumbia. That's a great defensive effort from Zetech Sparks. Now they're trying to trigger the offense. Darlene Joroge blocked. Beautiful spin move, just couldn't finish the play. And we talk about finishing power.
Finishing power, yes.
You can have a great move, but if you don't finish it out with a basket, no one's going to forget that. No one's going to remember the move.
And right now, KPA they can't seem to buy a bucket, and that foul on Grace, I think it's very crucial to them because they need to get something going. Otherwise, the momentum will shift to Zetech, and Zetech have been playing from behind the whole series, and they have shown the resilience to do it continually, as Coach Millicent calls a timeout.
The only thing that has not been working in Zetech's favor is that they're not connecting on their shots. They're attempting, they're getting the steals, they're giving a good defensive effort, and like you said, KPA, they still can't be comfortable. As we take a look at some of the replays here, so far, Semaseku's doing a good job of drawing the defense and then kicking out to the post players and the cutter on the baseline.
Yes.
And then they've also been active on the defensive end as well, but they need to create more distance from Zetech Sparks. Zetech Sparks are still very much within reach.
They are very much in this game, and KPA cannot afford to go cold right now because we still have a lot of time in this ball game. It's 4 minutes and 19 seconds of stoppage time. That's a lot of time. KPA, they should not take their foot off the gas, not one bit.
Pedal to the metal.
All the way until the final whistle.
Absolutely cannot undermine the level of confidence that they enter this fourth quarter coming out of the timeout with, though. Sitting on a 10-point lead. Grace Irebu, a quiet game on the points end for her. It's 4 points, and she's had a total of 9 rebounds. Yesterday she was 16 and 13 in the game 1, but still you can't count out her presence in the paint for Kenya Ports Authority.
Definitely, and I think today she's been big on the defensive end as she pulls down yet another rebound and causes Michelle to alter a shot. She has had a couple of huge blocks in the third quarter, and just her presence in the paint. Lovely high-low action between Grace and Barbara, and right on cue. Like there's so many ways that you can impact a game. And it started with her on this end when she forced Michelle to alter a shot.
Now Bosbori for the open 3. She finally finds the bottom of the net after struggling from beyond the arc today. It's going to be her 9th point.
And it's still a 10-point game.
Irebu, this time she has a good look at the rim, and I think that's just a little bit out of her range. So Kuju, she's got Kyobe on her. We know what kind of sticky hands that Kyobe has, and she loves these kind of challenges. And Giaquini finds Darlene Joroge. That's another nice high-low situation on the Zetech Sparks end. And I love it when post players play together.
It makes the game so easy, and in that particular time KPA did not rotate in time and Zetech were able to read the wow, I mean, I wish we could see the replay of that. For a minute there, Sokoju looked like as if she was trying to jump on someone's back.
I think what stood out to me even more was the fact that Barbara barely budged. That's a strong post player right there.
Oh, Barbara, she's a tough cookie.
Kyobe to trigger from baseline. Doumbia called for the travel violation.
As Zetech are slowly trying to claw away at this game, but time is not on their side. It is 2 minutes and 32 seconds, and they need to get something going fast.
They've been unable to crack this 10-point lead throughout the fourth quarter, as Christine is fouled by Doumbia. And we talk about the importance of hitting three-point shots. Kenyans as a whole, generally, I feel like we are not the strongest three-point shooters. And we focus more on our mid-range game. even if you see that in international play. 10 points is nothing. A 10 points lead is nothing when you got solid 3-point shooters.
I mean, with a 10-point lead, especially these days in the NBA and also in Europe, even with 15 seconds to go, a 10-point lead is still not safe.
At all. That's a 3-4 possession game, but when you're getting your attempts from the free throw line and inside the arc, it makes things very difficult. You must be extremely efficient. Yvonne, hand off to Semaseku. Semaseku's got 2 on her. Kicks it out. One more pass. Christina Kinyi saw it coming. She gets the steal.
It is either she pulled the chair from under Yvonne's legs or she got away with a pull.
Michelle Sokuju continuing to try her luck from beyond the arc.
And Grace with yet another dominant rebound as Yvonne loses it.
Darlene Joroge attempt, Bosbori blocked. And Zetech Sparks looking to convert on this possession. Bosbori steps into the 3-point shot, unsuccessful. 1 second to shoot. But I believe the ball touched the rim, so we should have a reset on the shot clock.
Yes.
And I'm sure the correction will be made on the floor. The keen eyes and minds of Kenyan basketball fans would never allow that play to go under the radar.
Yeah. That was a temporary lapse by the guys at the table. But again, it is a correctable error.
It is indeed. Human error. No one is perfect.
No one.
Even the guys at the table. Bosbori, long 3, no. We know that's very much within her range of knocking down shots. Now Natalie Akinyi to bring the ball up for KPA. Joroge called with a foul on the floor.
With 1:28, is it safe to say that KPA have successfully defended their home court, or is it too early?
I think it's safe to say it. I would love to see a comeback. I'd love Zetech to be the comeback queens, but again, we look at the trend of this game, we look at the momentum, and it's just not ever been on Zetech's side.
Yes.
They've managed to keep close to Kenya Ports Authority up until the third quarter. That's where we saw KPA take the 10-point lead, and they've just not been able to crack that 10-point lead successfully.
As Natalie misses both free throws. Oh.
Akinyi, tough take. She earns a trip to the free throw line.
With 1:16 left, you see, for example, and actually it's only 8 points. So let's say if she hits both, because the clock has stopped, she makes it a 6-point game, which is actually a 2-possession game. And the basketball gods did not smile down on her and give her the friendly bounce.
And you can see Akinyi wearing the Asia 1s, pretty in pink. They got those shoes as giveaways at the BAL for Her camp that took place in South Africa earlier this year.
Wow.
It's unfortunate we don't wear the same size.
Otherwise,
I'd have to have a conversation with her after this game.
I now that you mention it, I see even Grace is rocking the exact same pair of shoes.
I love them. They're very nice shoes. Bosbori, great ball control. We've talked about it. She was able to receive a pass that wasn't exactly on target and still get to the cup and finish.
Yep, and it's a 5-point game with 47 seconds on the clock. And a turnover by KPA. Things might get interesting.
Evelyn Diana loses the ball. She's fighting for it with Kiobe. Irebu trying to chase it down.
And her body's all over.
It's a dog pile.
Total pandemonium on the court.
Bosbori, credit to her, knew what was at stake. She chased that ball down and dove on it because she knew that if Grace got a handle on that ball, their hopes would be all but lost. with 33 seconds now on the game clock. We got a timeout on the floor. Final adjustments must be made. But do you think that Zetech have a lifeline here?
Yes. It's only 5 points. I am wondering whose possession it is. If it's Zetech's possession, then they definitely have a lifeline. All it takes is just one 3-point shot and one fast break.
But you see, it puts Zetech Sparks in a very tricky situation because they are shooting 10% from 3. Should they still go for that, or should they try and get the inside attempts?
I think that they need to go, and I think that they need to take whatever the defense will give them. If a shooter is left wide open, take the shot. You have nothing to lose.
Turnell says he's putting all his chips on the table. He's all in from the 3-point arc.
Look, you see, as an offensive player, you take whatever the defense gives you. And if somebody like Bosibori is left wide open, if she finds herself in that territory, you know, I would, as a coach, I would have no issues if she took that shot. Because it is a 5-point game. If they score a 3-point, it's a 2-possession. But if they go for the field goals, they'll have to have 3 possessions to either catch up or to take the lead.
Now keep in mind, the KPA is also in the penalty.
Yes.
So they also have the option of feeding the post and trying to draw the foul.
Exactly, you know, because that will stop the clock and it will send you to the line.
So it's going to be KPA ball, which makes things exponentially more difficult for Zetech Sparks. They've got to make a stop.
If KPA score on this possession, then it will be safe to say that it's a done deal.
Dumbia, tough move.
20 seconds on the clock.
Sparks trying to get down the floor. Marsha Ooko off balance. She's fouled.
With 12.8 left.
Oh, and there's no foul called.
Oh wow. And this is a done. It's a wrap.
It's a done deal here.
Oh.
Kenya Ports Authority have successfully defended their territory for the second time this weekend, and they take the 2-0 lead. That's the end of this game. KPA final score 54, Zetech Sparks 49 points. But this game, according to me, was decided in the third quarter once again.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. We have been talking about it, and finally KPA were able to pull away in the third quarter.
What an effort from Kenya Ports Authority to hang into this game. But Chantal Kiyobe on your screens right there, she was the star of the game for me. She had an amazing performance, as you see them appreciate the fans that are here. She finished with 21 points.
As they take a minute to appreciate the fans, because this is the last time the home fans will see them this season.
Yes, indeed. So the game goes back to Nairobi for game 3, 4, and 5. And you can see the smiles on their faces. It's nice. It's nice to lead the series 2-0. Zetech Sparks now under pressure. Game 3 is a must-win game for them, but they'll have home court advantage. And KPA will walk away with smiles on their faces as the men now come onto the floor, preparing to take on the Nairobi City Thunder. We will have that game coming up next in just a few, but I think we're going to be in for a treat.
Well, we are definitely hoping that today KPA will play with the pride of this being their home court, their home territory, and we definitely want to see them bring the energy which was lacking yesterday.
So hang on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with that action in a few minutes.